We're back on the channel, and for the first time in my lifetime and for the first time in 40 years, we can say we are officially a championship club. And you at home right now watching this are watching a video talking about a championship club. After the many years of being a non-league club, you might have seen on my community post saying how we're used to playing Eastleigh, Maidenhead every single season. The cycle of, the part-time and the teams that we were stuck in that division with for a long while has finally ended, and we're competing with the big boys now. We're in there with the Leicester Cities, Ipswich Town, Southampton, possibly Sheffield United, possibly Sunderland, Blackburn, Coventry. These historic clubs, Wrexham FC, have earned the right to be competing against next season. If you couldn't tell already, we've got promoted to the Championship, and today we're going to be continuing promotion videos on the channel, and we're going to be talking about the financial impact that promotion to the Championship does have on Wrexham Football Club. Of course, it's a whole different ball game getting promoted to the Championship than it was getting promoted to League One. So before we get going in today's video, if you're looking for all the best Wrexham AFC content, make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. I can't believe it, next year I'll be creating content on Wrexham Football Club who will be in the Championship. I've tried to process it as much as possible, and I think there only is so much you can process about everything that's happened in 4.5 years at Wrexham Football Club, going from near relegation to part-time regional football to now being one league below the Premier League and being in the 7th most competitive league in Europe. It is genuinely ridiculous, and enough of the waffle, let's get talking about the financial impact that promotion has on Wrexham. So we're going to be starting off with sponsors and TV income now. A factor that has contributed heavily to the club's growth on and off the pitch for Wrexham is of course the sponsorship. Now, we saw in the last financial report Wrexham did release in late March of 2024 a number that had drastically risen in our first season back in the EFL. Cash in mind's back 22-23, the league we won the National League. Sponsorship income was 1.8 million. This season, the number had risen in just one season to 13.1 million. That is when Wrexham Football Club were a League 2 team. I'd love to know the number we could generate now we are in the Championship, with a league with 100 times more exposure than League 2. And of course, the price to sponsor Wrexham Football Club should be through the roof at the minute, and rightly so, because of the exposure that we already had. Even when we were down in the National League, the sponsorships that we were gaining, of course, it's all about that exposure from Ryan and Rob, the Welcome to Wrexham documentary, the global appeal that Wrexham has around it at the minute. The sponsorship pricing for Wrexham could probably rise, I would say, to 20 million, if not maybe a bit more, if we want to bring these big brands into the club, and if they want to have their their sponsorship and their companies on the face of Wrexham Football Club, on the shirts, on the stadium, just anywhere, of course, then they're going to have to pay a price. And that sounds so sort of cocky, you could say, but Wrexham has got to a point now where it does have an international and global audience. So I think this number could continue to rise in the years to come. And of course, the whole point is promotions to the Championship. This could be really good, sources of revenue and extra income coming into the club. We could make a couple more million from sponsorships in revenue to allow us to just be more competitive on the pitch in terms of increasing our playing budget, which of course allows us to recruit better players and create a squad that is going to help this club be ambitious in our biggest point that we've seen the club be. And talking on TV income now, according to football finance expert Kieran Maguire, Wrexham Football Club, obviously since promotion to the Championship, will now reportedly receive £8 million in TV revenue, of course coming from Sky Sports following the promotion to the Championship. Yet another stream of income which could be vital in terms of Wrexham Football Club surviving next year in the Championship. Like I said, when it just comes to recruitment, that is going to be the main aim for Wrexham Football Club. The COP is starting in the summer. Focus should be only on Wrexham Football Club building a squad that is going to be competitive and will help us sort of future-proof the seasons to come if we want to be competitive in the Championship. And these streams of income, like the £8 million we'll receive from Sky Sports for the TV deal, is going to be massive towards that, and it's going to help just throughout the whole season, not even just the summer transfer window. If we're in a position where, say, we're struggling next season, in the first half of the Championship season, we could, use that budget in the January transfer window to help boost our chances of survival. Or if we're at the other end of the table, which at this moment in time, I don't think we will be. But you look at this £8 million as well, it is a lot of money, and it seems a lot of money to Wrexham Football Club because, you know, there's a lot of other teams in this division that haven't generated the £26 million that we have generated. Every single penny is going to be massive, of course, for us this season. And you even look at us not having a permanent training ground. Could this funding possibly go towards securing a permanent training home? Then, yeah, if it does, happy days, because there's a lot of money involved in getting promoted to the Championship. Talking on wage bills now, and I've talked about this on the channel before because it is a pretty significant topic, seeing as we're in a much more competitive league. You go from League 2 to League 1 and you look at it in terms of financial sense, there's going to be the well-established teams that have always had a good funding behind them, but you look at the majority of the teams, you're in a similar field and a similar situation to them in terms of finances. But Wrexham are a club that have had such a quick come up in terms of going from the National League, League 2, League 1 Championship, and everything's just been so drastic in terms of, the revenue made at Wrexham Football Club, the money that has been pumped into the club. And you look at the teams in the Championship at the minute, they're spending quite a lot on wages, and we're going to be talking about this now. This season in League 1, Wrexham's wage bill was the third highest in the league, standing at around £10 million. Now, having looked at the other wage bills in the Championship, for a mid-table side, the average looks to be around £13.5 to £16.5 million on average. Of course, the salaries of all the players in the matchday squad, that's for a team that is just comfortably doing well in mid-table. And I think looking at Wrexham's squad at the minute, I think it's clear that there will be a fair few players leaving the football club to free up space and, of course, free up funding into the squad for players to join into the club. Because as we've seen, you've got players at the minute, and it's probably a very good wage for the level that we are currently at, but it's a different ball game. Like I've said on many occasions, agents going to want to squeeze every single penny out of the deal. The players will be wanting that as well. But it's an exciting project at Wrexham Football Club, and now we are up in the Championship, I genuinely think it could attract just the attention of some players, and it will make their agents and them consider whether it is worth doing a deal, because it's just so unique in terms of the come up at Wrexham Football Club, and it's a unique project that has, of course, this international fan base, hundreds of thousands of people interested in the football club. So in that side of things, I think recruitment could be very interesting. So keep your eye out, of course, as you will be in the summer for recruitment. But in terms of the playing squad, like I said, I think we'll see quite a fair few players leave, and with the increased general income for being a Championship team, I think Parky will have good backing in the summer transfer window. And it might sound silly because it's such a big step up. The new Wrexham fans watching this that might have, taken appeal to the documentary when the takeover first happened, the step up to the Championship from League 1 is probably the biggest step up in the whole of, English football. Maybe bar Championship to the Premier League, but for a team like Wrexham who've been stuck in non-league for so long, 13, 15 years, to suddenly jump 2 leagues in the space of 2 seasons, it is a big step up, and it is a very competitive league in terms of finances. However, I do think, the income that is going to come in generally from the Championship, and possibly from new stakeholders and owners coming into Wrexham Football Club, I think he will have good backing, and I think we do have money to spend in the summer transfer window to hopefully, fingers crossed, get that survival next season. How much will Wrexham Football Club earn for getting promoted to the Championship? We receive a solidarity income of £5,190,000, a basic payment of £3,210,000, which of course is a total of £8.4 million. That was the payments made to every Championship club in the 23-24 season. So this number could go up, this number could go down. Generally, it'll probably stay the same, maybe increase a little bit in terms of how the Championship has done this season. But if you add the extra £8 million in TV revenue on top, it looks like Wrexham will receive around £17 million for being a Championship club next season. A significant increase in the £2 million we earned estimated last season for promotion to League 1. So it is a big step up, and I think that does put it into perspective how big the step up in terms of, how you have to be competitive and how you have to have the right funding in place to be competitive in the Championship and to survive next season, because it is a very, very tough league. Anyone can beat anyone, and you have to get everything point perfect if you do want to survive. Yeah, and in terms of recruitment for Wrexham next season, I've talked about this so many times on previous videos. I think, like I said, we will see a few players leave Wrexham Football Club. But if we do want to survive, I think we'll see a few new signings come through the door. But if we want to be competitive and aim for that top 14, top half finish, now as things stand, I'm not getting ahead of myself, it is a massive, massive ask for Wrexham to be top half next season. I think if you are looking at that and being, unrealistic in thinking that we're going to need 6, 7, 8 new players through the door who are going to be of a high quality championship experience, will Wrexham look at the international market to bring players in? It's definitely a possibility. We're at that stage now where anything is possible, and the transfer window in the summer for Wrexham Football Club is so vital. But like I've just said, I do believe the funding will be there, and I do think we have the funds to be competitive and compete alongside, the teams that have finished mid-table in the Championship. I do think we will have good backing in the transfer window, but it's just about whether we recruit right. You can have all the money in the world, but it's all about the players you bring in with that money. And if you spend £3-4 million, £5 million on a striker and he doesn't perform, it's going to have a damaging effect on your finances and future, signings that you do want to make in the transfer window. So I think our scouts and Parky will be very cautious in the transfer window to, bring players in who suit the setup, who suit sort of the bill for Wrexham Football Club in terms of being in the dressing room, and just improve on the squad and the foundations that we have built over the past couple of seasons, and just continue to remain ambitious like we have been and continue this fairy tale journey we have been on in the past couple of seasons. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. How many signings do you think Wrexham Football Club need to survive in the Championship next season? Do you think Wrexham Football Club will survive? I genuinely still cannot believe it. Just the game in general, afterwards, the fans in the streets of Wrexham and the fans inside the stadium, the noise generated was ridiculous, and I am just so lucky that I was there to watch history, and I was there to see a part of what is going to be a game and a moment and 90 minutes that will be forever ingrained into Wrexham Football Club's history. Possibly one of the biggest moments in the club's 170-year existence. It is genuinely ridiculous, and it puts it into perspective when you see people selling tickets for £600-700 on third-party websites. It is just ridiculous, and they're memories that will last a lifetime. And just going on the pitch, seeing Ryan and Rob, I'll insert a video. Being right in front of me, and I was looking back at the old videos on the channel, just how depressing it was to be a Wrexham fan and how there was no drive and direction, and we were lost. And I think that is fair to say, as a football club, we were lost. We didn't know where we were going. I think we were struggling in terms of getting that extra boost of revenue and income into the club to take us to the next level. But here we are 5 years on as a Championship side. It is genuinely what dreams are made of, and it will take a while to really settle in that Wrexham Football Club are in the Championship next year. Magical, absolutely magical. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers, and make sure to drop a like. Let's go for 500 likes on today's video. And as always, up the Championship Reds. Wow, we are Championship.